KC Singh, the Indian position is arrest Hafiz Saeed, otherwise we will not talk. Here you have the Pakistan Prime Minister saying you forget about Hafiz Saeed, talk. Do we talk?
I think we've been parroting this position now for almost 1 year. Sharm el-Sheikh was an attempt to get past it and restart dialogue. And obviously it was an abortive attempt. Public opinion was not ready and PM sensed it. They had to retrace their steps. But the net result has been that it's really regressed rather than move forward, where the government has backed itself into a position of saying uproot the terror network or we'll not talk. Now this position beyond a stage is going to be untenable. I think that point is about being reached. And Pakistan may be sensing it.
Untenable in what way? Do you mean that in the eyes of the world, in the eyes of America, that India is obstructing?
Because what Pakistan has done yesterday, by saying that we are going to punish all these people, they are involved, etc., they will appeal to the global opinion that this is what we have done. Look, we had conducted the investigation and we can't do more than this. We don't have evidence. What India has given us is enough.
So Siddharth Vallabharajan, a clever move then on the part of the Pakistani Prime Minister to put India on the back foot.
I'm not so sure. I think India, the time for us to have begun to talk was last year when the trial actually began. What's come yesterday is a leak of the Federal Investigative Agency's findings, which are the basis for which the prosecution is going on in Rawalpindi. So I think last year when the trial began, there should have been some forward movement. Just after 26/11, the government took the view that, okay, we aren't going to follow the coercive diplomacy of Vajpayee. So we will suspend dialogue, but we're going to allow people-to-people contact, everything else to continue. What's happened today is not only are you not talking, but the absence of dialogue has begun to cast a shadow over people-to-people relations in every aspect. Hence the IPL fiasco. Hence you can have a ridiculous situation where the Trade Fair Authority of India, you have a trade fair, 13 containers worth of Pakistani goods for exhibition and sale are brought, and 2 or 3 of them go back to Pakistan unopened because the customs doesn't clear them in time. So, this is not helpful for the fight against terror. This is not helpful for diplomacy. This is not a rational stand, and we are we've been backed ourselves into a corner. It's really time to get out.
And Chandan Mitra, perhaps the time is to recognize that both India and Pakistan are facing terrorism. As Yusuf Raza Gilani is there saying that we have also faced 101 attacks. Pakistan is facing an existential threat, as Rob Gates said the other day, from terrorism. So perhaps this is a time for India and Pakistan to come together and talk about the common enemy of terrorism.
No, I think there's a fundamental difference between the kind of terrorism Pakistan faces and the kind of terrorism India does. India has no role to play in the terrorism that Pakistan is facing. India, on the other hand, is facing terrorism because it is sponsored and promoted from Pakistan. And there are 3 very good reasons why there can be no situation at this point of time when we can start talking. First, on 26/11, Pakistan is vacillating, prevaricating, and just simply avoiding facing up to the issue. Second, in the last few weeks, they have tried to push in many Pakistan-trained militants across the line of control into Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay, I'll let him say
the situation has deteriorated. Let me complete. Is deteriorating, and I think Pakistan knows that very well. What they're doing this part of a plan. And third, we don't know who's in control in Pakistan. There is a president who is more obsessed with his black votes than about international diplomacy. And we don't know how much the Prime Minister really controls the situation.
That's a point. I mean, this civilian regime seems to be completely discredited. As we saw in the newspapers today, Zardari is slaughtering black goats in order to fend off the evil eye. So, who do we talk to? Who are the rulers of Pakistan?
I think it depends on...
Can this regime deliver on anything that it says it will deliver on?
I think it can deliver on a lot of things that are of substance and that are of interest to India. For example, let's not think in terms of the big goals, right? That you're going to solve Kashmir or that terrorism is going to end. There's plenty in the bilateral relationship that India can strive for in terms of actual gains. On the trade front, for example. Right now you have a situation, I was talking to a big Indian industrialist the other day, who said, India and Pakistan could do barter trade of steel and cement because Pakistan's cement factories are all in the north.
Right.
That's where we have a shortage. Why?
And you feel that these are precisely the kind of generous or cooperative gestures that are needed by India, so Pakistan can become convinced that yes, even if we are acting against these terrorists, we have India as a cooperative regional partner, not as another threat.
No, Sagrika, I'm saying let's not go back to the old issues. In the last 14 months, what has embittered the relationship? One is, of course, terrorism, which always has. Second is Afghanistan. I'm saying the new issues on the table, which have made the relationship more distrustful. So restart the dialogue, put the composite dialogue to one side, because you have linked the composite dialogue
and
to
precisely
cessation
at a
of
time
terrorism.
when Pakistan is fighting an existential battle
So
with,
put it to one
itself.
side.
It needs India at least
Now,
on that border to be
It doesn't
secure.
mean you revive the anti-terror mechanism. That was a bit of a joke.
Right.
It should not be at the official level. It has to be at a higher level.
Okay.
Maybe arm's distance from the political leadership, national security advisor level, or even higher. Let them sit down and talk about issues which are dividing us, which were raised in Sharm el-Sheikh. If they want to raise Baluchistan, let them raise it. But why should it be that Afghanistan is a zero-sum game? That anything which India gains there is at Pakistan's cost. Pakistan has worked overtime to exclude us from the Istanbul meeting.
Right.
And they are trying to keep us on the margins of the London meeting. Why are they that distrustful? Let's take out those factors of distrust. The second thing is, it is true, Gilani has put it unhappily, that even if the government was truthful, they probably cannot keep another 26/11 from happening. But what we want to be sure of is not whether another 26/11 takes place or not, that it does not have links to the government or to government agencies or to government sponsors. That Pakistan has to ensure. Let them not ensure there can't be another terrorist attack.
But you know, there was an interesting point raised.